That's So Nova. My name is Nova, and welcome to my channel if you're a first time here. If you're not the first time here and you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing to me and thank you for sticking with me. Today's video is going to be for the Kijani. It is a sew your bag box pattern. Her name is Catherine. Catherine creates curated boxes that comes with everything minus your needle and machine that you need. She also has accompanied videos that she has within the group and also on Facebook. And within the group in Facebook and also on YouTube. This pattern we're having right here is a free pattern that you could purchase from her website. Link will be in the information box. It's called the Kijani Pouch. This pouch is super cute. It has a V shape, very nice clean shape. It's meant for our size 5 zipper, but I think you might be able to get away with a size 4.5 like a YKK zipper. It has a nice flat square bottom, and I used a tag on the outside, one of her tags saying, "You look dapper today." This is a really cute bag. You have the inside. I used waterproof canvas so that it could be wipeable if someone uses it for their makeup or what have you. It has a wide opening, and I think this is a great bag if you're looking for gifts to give. Let's say you're part of a gift exchange or you have some members at your job that you would like to personalize little gifts. Perfect. Doesn't take up a lot of fabric. Matter of fact, I use scraps for my scrap bin for the foam and the lining. There's not a whole lot to it. It has a smaller zipper, so you may have had like an 8-inch zipper tail somewhere and you're like, I want to use this and I don't want to throw it away. Here it is. Gift exchange, conventions, bazaars, Christmas marts. These smaller gifts people love to buy, and they might buy in bulk because they see them. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's get all of our stuff gathered for the Kijani projects. We're going to first, you're going to need the beautiful pattern. I don't know where I put the top of that. Alright, so there's a beautiful picture of the Kijani with beautiful Ankara fabric. It'll be on the top, but sometimes when I get stapling, I staple weird. You're going to need your zipper. I'm using the zipper. I want to say it is from Zorel. I won a awesome gift package from So Magical Expo. They hit 2,000, or I think it was either the 2,000 or 3,000 mark. And they gave me a goodie bag that had all the goodies from So Magical 2021. And I believe this zipper tape came in it, and I've been wanting to use it. But I thought the color scheme was perfect for like Halloween or Mike and Sully from Monsters Inc. But I think it'll work on this project, and you'll see why. We're going to need our zipper tab, your two interior pieces, which I'm using waterproof canvas today because I want to be able to make this bag where it's wipeable on the inside in case somebody spills makeup or snacks or whatever they use it for. And my exterior fabric is basted to my foam. Now, mind the little burr hairs. These two foams are in my scrap pack. I think I briefly talked about how keeping scraps are pivotal. Look at this case. Yes, they're both foams by Annie Soft and Stable. They were cut for another bag, but I didn't throw these away. And look, it's perfectly being used right now. If you don't have foam, I think Thermolam or a thicker fleece could work too. It just won't stand on its own. You could definitely try Deck of a Light, but again, with this bag, it's a little snack bag. If it gets crushed or manipulated, it could get like wrinkles if you don't cool your Deck of a Light for 30 minutes to 3 hours before after you iron it on. I usually leave mine overnight on the concrete floor. I'm not gonna lie, and it usually works out fine. But I'm using foam. And in one of Catherine's box, I don't want to say September's, but I think August or July's, it had these amazing cute little tabs like, "You look quite dapper today." So I'm going to use one of these on here. So not a lot of pieces. Perfect. The reason why I wanted to do this is I think if you're new to this channel and you have not heard me seen any of my boxes, openings for Catherine, sew your own box, then this is a perfect introduction for you. This pattern is free. I'm going to have the link down below. And I love free patterns because it gives you an idea of how the writing style of the designer is, and it gives you a chance to practice something to see if you and that designer are pretty copacetic. Every designer is not meant for every person. Every person is not meant for every designer. So it works out just like this. It looks really fun. This is not an overly complicated pattern. I believe it's like 12 pages, but there's tons of pictures to walk you through, as well as she does have a Facebook group that anybody in that group will help you. And when I say anybody, I mean anyone. They're all very helpful in there. So we're going to get this started. So on page 3 of the pattern, it goes over your materials, basically what we did. You need your front and back, your lining, your zipper tabs, and your foam. Please pay attention to the lining section because it is a 1/2 inch smaller than the main panel pieces. And I appreciate that. And we'll see when we do the final assembly of it, you're going to understand everything will come into fruition. You're going to be like, it's pretty awesome. Her cutting directions are from width to height. Whenever I look at a new pattern, the first thing I highlight is it height to width or width to height. I also highlight what is a seam allowance they normally have. Some pattern designers are 1/4 of an inch, 3/8, a 1/2 inch. I even had some patterns that I've been working on recently that like the whole lining was constructed at 5/8 of an inch. It was mind-blowing, like completely mind-blowing. Like I always highlight when there is a differential change from the main seam allowance, so that way I know to get prepared to put my seam guide or draw a line, see what works best for you. So I wanted to do that. And when you are going to cut out your zip, she recommends a 3 stitch 3 on her sewing machine. So I'm going to do the same. And on our zip, we're going to fray off, not fray. We're going to prevent fray by using a lighter and kind of letting it melt a little bit, or you can use fray check. And we're going to measure a 1/2 inch down, and then we're going to take it apart and fold it over so it has a V. Now, what I usually do is once I fold it over, I pop a pin. Let me bring you down here so you can see a little bit better. I pop a pin in it like this, and then I bring it over to the sewing machine and move this lighter, and then I just sew it down on both sides. Now, if you're like me and you're not opposed to hand sewing would be ideal. You could just do a few whip stitches and it'll stay in place. So that is something else you can do. So once you're going to do that, we're going to retrieve our zipper tab. Let me pop this pin over here. Our zipper tab, and we're going to measure from the 2-inch edge. So there's a 3, and these are the 2. So from the 2-inch edge, we're going to measure 3/8 of an inch. Sorry, my ruler's all like really gluey. I was doing a project and I forgot to clean it. I need to put my rulers down with some alcohol or baby wipes. We're going to draw a 3/8 of an inch from the 2 edge. So this would be the 3-inch edge. This is the 2-inch edge. We draw our 3/8 of an inch. And then we're going to mosey on over to page 6. See? It said 12 pages and we're already on page 6. Lay your zip right sides up from the cutting mat and place your zipper tabs wrong sides up. Like this. On the wrong edge. Okay, place the zipper matching the raw edges of the tab. wrong side up. On that 3/8 of an inch line that you drew on step 8, I should have put it on the wrong side. Fold it over, and we are going to sew this down using a 3 stitch length and 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. If my threads are like struggling with me today. I have a Mon polyester thread, 40 weight in both, 2 different shades of purple. Sometimes when I'm working with colors that are like this, there's mostly purple and there's like a light purple and a dark purple, I kind of do the same. And I'm going to back stitch. Then I'm going to trim my threads. And I have the lighter purple in the bobbin thread. In the bobbin case, I mean. I'm going to fold this over onto itself. See, when you do it that way, it folds it onto itself and it's a nice clean finish. And we're going to sew 1/8 of an inch across, and then we're going to cut it even. Use my ruler. Okay, so we have this. We top stitch it. You can use a wider top stitch at 4.0, but I did just the 3. I'm sometimes kind of lazy when it comes down to trimming it up. I mean, change it up, unless it's like machine basting. I'm going to trim this up. Mine's just a little wonky, but it shall pass. I'm going to take it over to the machine and put another row of stitching, back stitching, beginning and end. This is just for like your own personal preference. You don't have to do this at all because it's not in the pattern. I just like a second row of stitching. I don't know why. If you ever look at any of my bags, like I stitch the bottom of my bags to have like some weird quilted mark. Like I like to make things a little bit more difficult. So we have all that. Then we're going to lay the zippers right sides up. And she has double-sided tape, the 1/4 of an inch. I had mine and I don't know where it is, so I'm going to just lay the 1/8 of an inch. I thought this was really, really clever how she does this. So we're going to put double-sided tape down both sides. Now, you don't have to do this. I mean, there's an alternative. I'll show you. Down both sides, minus the threads connecting to my... Because if your machine is really sensitive to double-sided tape, you can just pin it or you can clip it. But if you're using 1/8 of an inch, it shouldn't affect being your seam allowance, so you should be okay. Our seam allowance is 1/4 of an inch. I hear crickets. The house is super quiet. All right, so we have my pink pants showing. Let's see, we're going to peel off back of the tape of one of the right sides and put it right sides top together on the edge. Now, what you want a 1/2 inch in between. I am trying to find... there should be a 1/2 inch in between. If you look at your zipper, you want your zipper to hit the 1/2 inch. If you can't see this, let me put this in here. Because none of my pens, all my white chalk pens and everything are just not the business this past week. I don't know. Maybe it's because the seasons are changing. All the leaves are changing colors. So you want to figure out what your main focal point is, because this has this, because this pattern has this really cute print. It's directional. Make sure my fabric is up. I know I want this to be the one that opens because it has a really cute zipper tab. So I'm going to peel off the right sides of this zipper tape on the right sides, and I'm going to place it see. I'm going to place it in between these two pins that I marked a 1/2 inch, and roll my fingers. And then I'm going to grab the coordinating lining and take off this. Put right sides together. The lining, it's going to sandwich in between the zipper. Now when I sew this to the machine, I need to be aware that my my zipper is there. So we're going to put it in the needle down to move it. So let's go over to the machine. 3 stitch length. Stop and start at the beginning of each end. And again, it's 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so the zipper is there really quickly, but I can feel it's going towards the, it's going away from the fabric, so I'm not having to shift anything. I'm using a narrow zipper foot. I'm going to make sure all raw edges are touching. And when I use a narrow zipper foot, I normally don't have to really move zipper. Oh man, my bobbin, I think it went out. Well, at least I got that part right. Let me grab another one. Let's see. I've been sewing a lot of purple stuff this week. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean a whole lot. And my orange. Let's see. Bear with me for just one moment. I'm sorry. I might have to stop the video to put in to one another bobbin. I thought I had another purple one or a full orange one, but I did not. It happens. I'm always notorious for forgetting my to wind enough bobbins, and then when I'll be right slap dang in the middle of a project, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Oh man, I ran out of bobbin. I always run out of bobbin in the weirdest places too. Like either I'm like closing off a bag, or I'm putting the bag right sides together and stitching it. All right. So we have this one, and we're going to top stitch using 1/4 of an inch. And what I like to do is I like to smooth the lining out first, pop a couple clips on the side so that it doesn't shift up while I'm trying to sew. One-eighth of an inch. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. This pen. Grab the right side, make sure that the directional is going up and down, not backwards. I mean, if it goes backwards, it's not the end of the world, but generally, we like to have our things facing the same direction. I just noticed a lot of people don't make any toss prints. Oh, you know what? I forgot the most important part. To find my 1/2 inch markers. I always have pens and needle and thread at every workstation I have. Even I sew my Bernina 1008 upstairs. I did practically almost all this weekend, making my middle child a onesie. And the thing I can't stress enough is to have markers, have needles by your area, just in case there's thread that you need to get that's uncaught, that you need to sew off or tie off or pull threads to the back. You know the drill. Okay, and then I'm going to take the lining, make sure there's a right side, and there is a right side and wrong side to this one. The more plasticky side is the wrong side. The side that looks like cotton woven is the right. At least that's what I think. I mean, everyone may feel differently. Some people may want the plastic side there because like they're making like a lunch bag and they wanted to make sure it's super waterproof and what have you. I got this from Fabric Wholesale Direct. I usually get most of my waterproof canvas there because I believe they're in New York. Because if they ship, I believe they're owned by Vogue first and foremost. And I think they ship from New York. So I live in Maryland, and anytime I get something from New York, it's like Amazon. I get it within 2 days. Make sure you feel for that zipper. Yeah, whenever I sew with this is the Waywack Hyper Stick. I can't find my medium stick right now. Whenever I sew with this one, no matter this machine's like, nope, we're not having it. There's a medium stick. You can use Dritz wash away tape, or again, using 1/8 of an inch keeps everything out of your seam. You're not sewing over it. It keeps things intact. It keeps out of your seam. I have it. I think it's upstairs. I know I used it this weekend on a bag. Okay. So we're going to finger press this, leave the lining, pop a couple of clips on the sides, because as you can see, the lining is about a 1/2 inch shorter than the main, and it's like that for a reason. We're about to get into that reason. Let's get back to top stitching. 1/8 of an inch. This is going to be cute. There's a teacher that my children really, really love, and Ms. Harrison Jones. She's worked with all my kids, and all my kids love her. I want to make her this and put like cute little Halloween candies in there, and like have my kids send her like a thank you card. She's just she's just a really good person. Teachers make such a huge difference. Okay, so we did the 1/8 of an inch. We peeled off the backing, completed step 9. You can iron or like you see me do, you finger press and using clips. Stitch. She recommends stitch length of 4 or 4.5 at 1/8 of an inch. Back stitch 1 or 2 stitches. Okay. All right, so we have the top all done. What we're going to do now is we're going to grab a pen and we are going to draw a 1.5 high by 1.5 long corner box to the lining and to the exterior pieces. There are really cool rulers out here that you can do that too. I'm trying to see if I have one in here. I use my almighty ruler. Yeah. I use my almighty ruler for a lot of things. So you can, they have really cool things where you have dots and you could just match them up. Or you could just use a regular ruler, go 1.5, 1.5. I definitely have to use these rulers for rivet placement. I don't know about you, but my rivet placement, yeah, I wish I had that skill set where I can just eyeball and be like, yes, this is my rivet placement. It's not the case for me. So I'm drawing it on all the wrong sides, including the lining. I'm just using this Westcott ruler that I got from Amazon. Again, they have them in a lot of quilting and dressmaking. They're relatively inexpensive. They do have a box. They have like, when something's like 7/8 of an inch, all I have to do is tick 7 boxes up. It makes my life a whole lot easier. Ooh, I did not think about the black Shinova. Okay, that's okay, I can see it. You may not, but that'll be the first ones I cut. We're going to cut out these 1.5 inch boxes. You don't have to necessarily throw these away. I know that sounds weird, but if you're a person that makes bags a lot and you need like backing for when you put a magnetic snap or a rivet, you need that extra leaded padding, these little squares come in handy. Just put them like in a Ziploc bag and put them next to wherever you sew at. And when you have that position where you're like, oh man, I need to some padding for this rivet or magnetic snap, you're gonna be like, I can use these little scraps. Thank you, Shinova. Or they can be little tabs for when you're putting your zips in, like similar to what we had today. I'm also going to see if I can find her some pens. I think she's a pen liker like I am, where like you're just like, this is the best pen ever. I need to buy 100 of these. I love pens. Like a really good pen. Okay. All right, so we did that part. We're going to hop on over to page 10. And we are going to move the zipper to the center first and foremost. Then we are going to make an L shape on the bottom on the left bottom 1.5 by 1/4. Okay, so we're going to draw a bottom that is 1/4 of an inch high by 1 inch long. I'm trying to see what I can draw with that you would see off this orange. Let's go for gray. So 1 inch long, 1 1/4 inch tall. Let's see. I said 1 1/4. 1 inch long by 1/2 inch tall. Okay, so we did on the right side too. This is going to be the side that we're stitching on, so I drew the boxes like 1 inch long going in and 1/2 inch tall. At first I was like, what is she doing? But it makes sense. We're going to take this little bit and press it up towards the right sides of the fabric, and then we're going to clip. Making sure that all the sides are lining up. I'm sorry my voice sounds all really weird. My kids, last week, Hope got sick. And after she got sick, we took her to the urgent care, and they tested her for, like, COVID, strep throat, and flu. She tested positive for flu B. And so she was out of school Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of last week. Then my eldest on Wednesday was like, I don't feel very good. And so we went to go take her. We were like, yeah, we're sure that she probably has the flu. No, she has strep throat. On Friday, my throat started hurting incredibly bad. It felt like I was swallowing glass. I got tested, and my husband got tested. And yes, we all have strep. It's not the business. I can't wait to be done with it. Who's like, yeah, strep throat's awesome. So we drew the 1 inch by 1 inch long by 1/2 inch up high, and we are going to start on an angle on one of these feet. This section is going to be our opening to turn the bag. So we're going to start pivot down and no sewing here. Go back up, pivot up, and then we're going to start up here, and we're going to go all the way around the bag, closing it off. So let's get to the machine and you can see what I mean. So we're going to start here at the pivot. We're going to reinforce the stitches. I'm still at a stitch 3. I reinforce by going back 2 to 3 times at 90 degrees. I want to make sure I stop at the needle down. So I'm going to put it in and then push it all the way down until you feel it's about to rise, and that's when you stop. And I'm going to stitch back. Now, instead of cutting my threads, I'm just going to bring my threads on over to this other side. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go back, because you want that area to have some extra reinforcement, because this is where you're going to birth the bag. And we're going to go do a couple of back stitches on that. My machine is not liking this thread right now. It happens. Machines are finicky, just like we are. So let me just rethread this area real well. I have to stick it behind this little, I call it like a, I don't know, it's shaped weird, like a messed up heart. And then put it through the hole, stick it through the needle. For this polyester thread, it just like frays so crazily. All right, so then I'm going to go up 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to back stitch really well in the beginning and end. 1/4 of an inch going still. If you need a hump jumper at this point, it is perfectly okay. Take your time. And we're getting closer to the end. So we're going to back stitch. And then I'm going to stop. And then I'm kind of just going to bring my bottom on over, back stitch. Back stitch. Again, I'm going to stop and kind of just bring the side over. This is one way of not, you know, having to keep cutting threads. You're going to cut them in the end, but it's I don't know, it's something, I hate like when you have to pull out threads, cut them, and then just go 2 inches across somewhere. So there's that. And also it helps with turning, boxing the corners out nicely. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. The great thing about foam is, yes, it is super thick, but the more you sew on it, the more it compresses. That's how By Annie's foam is formulated to do that. Okay, I'm going to, let's see, bring you over here, and then we're going to trim up some threads. Okay, so with the zipper, because you remember you had your zipper open at least towards the middle, I'm just going to stick my hand in there and just really open it up. Okay, the first place I like to trim is in this area right here. There's extra bulk, so do not go into your stitches. Just trim. You could trim the little bit of foam or a little bit of anything over there, just so it helps with release bulk, because that area becomes super bulky because there's so much going on there. So I'm like going around with a nice pair of sharp scissors and cutting around the bulkier area, so that way when we're pulling it through, that area is not like overwhelmed with foam. All right. Okay, so we're going to box these, and I like to have one seam on either side, not in the middle, just it helps reduce bulk. Pop some clips in that. Same thing on this side. We're going to kind of just take, when you're opening this up, see how it automatically wants to fold on itself because there's no like, the thread is from when we boxed it is so tight towards it, it automatically kind of just wants to box in on itself. It's pretty cool. So we have the seams in the center, and just have the seam allowance on either sides. of the stitching, so that way it's just reduces bulk. Same thing on this side. My clips are just like flying away from me. Okay, so we have our side, our box corners. We're going to now use a 1/4 of an inch, same allowance, and we're going to sew up our box corners. One-fourth of an inch. I like to back stitch a few times over the seam. It's weird. It's weird, I know. Oh. My bobbin thread is not... Okay. Luckily, this is a small project and we're almost done because I kind of want to go Hulk smash on it. I know. I know that's not the best to say. But yeah, when your thread is always messed up, it just... Ugh. It's frustrating because you're like, hey, I'm almost done. Don't act a donkey. All right. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, my phone is going off. Okay, let's do this again. 1/4 of an inch. Back stitch really well. 1/4 of an inch. And what I'm doing is I am trimming it down to 1/8 of an inch as I go after I sew it. One-eighth of an inch. It did it again, believe it or not. I'm just going to try a different bobbin color. And see if that works a little bit better. I once got this really pretty glittery glittery thread, and all it did every 3 stitches was like rip off, and I was so annoyed with it, but I kept like trying to persevere through it, and the bag did come out, like the top stitching did come out cute, but wow, I had a million back stitches I had to do, like a million, to make it look at least halfway decent. It happens. I'm going to give this machine a good old cleaning when I get off. When oil it, move all the lint through the top of the machine, inside the machine, and on the throat, inside this plate. Put some new oil and see how it goes from there. Because sometimes it could be as simple as a piece of lint is in there causing all this chaos, and that's unfortunate. Okay, I'm trimming it down to 1/8 of an inch. Bring it back over here. try to get all these burrs off. And then we're going to, I guess, trim this a really long thread. You can see we're going to go through the opening. And I just like to stick my hand in and push in a corner. And then kind of just let this do its thing. Kind of pull it slowly. I wanted to do a bag that you can give as a gift because the season is coming upon us. If you guys do a swap, would be a very interesting gift. Or if you're like doing like bazaars, holiday marts, or you know, some kind of convention or show, these might be a nice thank you or a nice little gift. I like to do a lot of Comic-Cons, as you could tell on the channel. I like super nerdy stuff. One time I went into a Comic-Con and there was this young little person who loved all my stuff but couldn't afford anything. I made some keychains and some pouches, and he was able to get one, and he felt like he got the best thing at a con. All he had was like the the cutest little pictures with people, but he saves his own money and he buys things that he likes at conventions. And I was like, oh, that is so darling. And so I decided from there to always have some small objects. Oh, this is cute. I always have some small objects, so someone, you know, a little human can purchase it if they wish. And little objects like this, you never know. You might be at a craft show and someone's like, oh my goodness, I love this bag. I work for, this has happened to me. This is why I'm saying the story. I work for I'm the head person in the real estate company at blah, 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 blah in Maryland. I need 70 of these. Yeah. I had one order like that one year. And then the other year I had it for like 15. And like people want to get their employees something nice where they could fill it up with goodies. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. So our last thing to do is we're going to pull out the lining. And what I like to do real quick is stick out the corners because we're going to close this up. And then I hold the mouth nice and taut, and then I'll just grab a few clips. Now here you can do like an invisible ladder slit stitch so that you don't see it, or maybe you could put your tag in here like you look dapper today, or your business tag. I am going to sew 1/8 of an inch from point A to point B, back stitching well and trimming threads even better because this is visible. Okay, and just make sure you have the close edge to close edge. Isn't that 1 inch long and 1/4 of an inch box so cool? Because it prevents, you don't have to do anything fancy to turn, you don't have to do anything fancy to make sure that you have a nice clean closing. I'm pushing out the corners. And because the corners are cut like a 1/2 inch smaller than the main, it comes out really cute. Oh my goodness. This is darling. Oh, with a little tag there. Oh, these are so cute. These would also, when I do sell my bags. I have an Etsy, but sometimes I get a lot of custom orders. On my custom orders, I usually like to create a pouch or a keychain. If the person buys a bag for me that's over $300, they usually get both. They'll get like a matching pouch and a matching keychain, just to say thank you. And I don't know about you, I like matchy stuff. So there's that. This pouch is also good, again, the holidays, or if you're giving just any kind of gift giving will be awesome. It's October, so I'm going to probably, like I said, make this for my kid's favorite teacher, fill it with some goodies and thank you cards for them. And they have a nice, unique shape. This is a really cute shape. Like, it has a nice sturdy bottom. Oh, this is a cutie. 100% a cutie. So just if you're doing craft shows, this might be a good bag to make. If you're a part of a sewing gift exchange, I know there's a lot of those about to start. This might be a really nice gift. If you're a person who strikes and gets custom fabrics and works for a company and you have something left over, this might be a great bag for it. It's nice and clean, nothing saggy. And that's the one thing I love about foam. You can just crush it and it'll just pop back up with your pressing your fingers. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you would like to see more of Catherine's bags being sewn up by me, please let me know. Visit her website. She offers patterns, subscription boxes, and she has blue and purple hardware, which I cannot emphasize that enough. She does have her own sewing woven interfacings. One is a light that you can compare it to Shape Flex 101, and one is a heavy. And her heavy is pretty. I use it a lot. I use it where people don't think it is to use it, because if you put 2 layers of that, it could be comparable to Decoville Light. But if you use 1 layer, you will have the crispest bag, and I love to use it in my linings. It just, you can bounce a quarter off of it. And I really like this bag. I'm surprised I never made it. I had the pattern like, hey, I'm going to make it because I love a good pouch. I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm going to make some more. So if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Like if you like this video, share if you think it's worthy. And if you're new to my channel, definitely subscribe. It helps down the channel so much, and it's pretty awesome. If you are like, hey, I want to do something special for you, Shinova, I do have where you can buy me a cup of coffee. I'll put the link down below. If you want to see any other bags, just comment down below. I'm eventually going to get a Google Doc because I get a lot of requests, and sometimes I forget. I'm human, but I do try to do the bags that everyone's requesting. This is cute, and I can't wait to see yours. I'll put the Facebook group, her website, and where you can get this pattern from her from. And that is it, my friends. Well, until the next time I see you, I hope you have a fantastic day and happy sewing. Bye.